Good morning, Nerd Nature. Good morning, everybody. It's a good, as I said earlier with Pops, blue skies, cloudy all day, nothing but blue skies going my way. I don't really sing that out. Good morning, everybody. Morning. Jesus Christ, good morning, exception. Good morning, Catzilla. Good morning, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button when you come on in. RX, good morning. Billy, good morning. Michael, good morning. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Derek Anderson. Good morning, H&R. Good morning, Michael. Marmar, it's not Michael. Michael's here, maybe. Jesus Christ. Good morning, Sling Blade. Just checking for boogers. Last week, apparently, for the first half hour of the show, none of you people knew how to tell me I had a booger in my nose. The perils of hosting a show. Apparently. Everything looks fine now. Apparently, for the first 20... Maybe it was y'all were placing bets. Apparently, we had a little stowaway. I don't know. All you gotta do is just do that every once in a while. Right, nerd? I didn't notice. CCS and the WAS. I remember, don't hit the like button, please. Everybody, hit the like button. I checked my phone afterwards, and typically, I was on my phone, and I was looking up lyrics, and we were doing broken radio, and we'll get to that again. I like doing broken radio. You look past the Instagram stuff, because you're like, all right, I can't talk to anybody, right? I'm doing the show, right? I'm trying to be a good host. And then I go back to the Instagram messages, and I had 4 messages from the WAS. Dude, check your schnoz! And I was like, oh wow, that rhymes. I made that rhyme on purpose. I apologize. Dude, you got a booger and you got a bat. Dude, you gotta check your... How am I gonna get a whole... I'm gonna talk to CCS real quick. So I go to... And CCS sent me 3 messages. Dude, the WAS is all check your nose. I don't know, man. Check your nose. And I was like... So I got 7 messages telling me that I gotta check my... How long did I get it? And I'm like, did I get it? By the end? And the WAS was like, I didn't really know, man. I'm like, well, you're a big help. Bill D said, I didn't know, I didn't know this. And we got a hanger, clouds in the sky. What's the code? CCS is bat in the cave, bat in the bat cave. You got a bat in the bat cave. No, I'm just... CCS sent me a message. He's like, dude, we got 10 minutes before the show. Don't forget to check your nose. And I was like, come on, man. I haven't done cocaine in years. I'm kidding. I haven't done it for years. I'm not kidding about that. I'm kidding about the... I haven't... Honestly, it's not really ever been a thing. If you can imagine, putting... It's like adding gasoline to a fire. Come on, man. I'm not Robin Williams at all. Not at all. I'm not even comparing myself to Robin Williams at all. But the energy, I get it. It's natural. Sometimes you're on fire. And so, and remember, he used to do cocaine a lot, too. Today, we got a... If you've been following along in the book, I really like this book. We got some stuff to talk about. We'll get to the book and I love hanging out with y'all. I do. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, MVP, by the way. Good morning, Clean Grow. Good morning. Is Niffer here yet? Or is she taking her sweet little time? Good morning. I'm kidding. Not It's amazing to see anybody here every morning. You know what I'm saying? How do I have expectations of who my audience is going to be? I got to worry about my expectations of what you think of me. boogers in my nose and stuff like that. Like, I hope Niffer's sleeping. It's a better time than whatever it is I got going on here. Good morning to all of you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, I think last week, can Nikki Haley drop out of the race already? I'm trying not to get political, and I don't mean anything or anything like that, but like, oh my god, she looked really stupid Saturday. And then tomorrow, like Michigan, kind of like where this whole thing is happening, it's like she's gonna look like a real moron tomorrow night. Like like a real goober is what she's gonna look like. Not a governor, not a gubernatorial, like a goober. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god. Like, yeah, I think you made your point. Like, we all know dude's done. When it comes to, like, respect and ethics and such like that. But holy bonkers and a half. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not political or anything like that, Oh, Tommy, I'm just saying, like, if you can read that, you're getting the answers to the questions. I'm just saying, like, come on. That was really what should have been a concession speech. It was kind of a sad little... I heard a commentator, was a Republican commentator, and this is the most political I'm going to get. I'm not pro or against or anything like that. If you know who I am, you kind of know where I stand and such, so whatever. But, like, I'm trying not to... I'm just saying, like, there was a guy that was, like, her speech sounded like it was supposed to be a concession speech. And it was. It was like, oh, man, we got to face some hard truths. And then she switches it up. I'm really pretty. No, she didn't say that. Face some hard truths. What are we diving on today? A little bit of heat stroke is what this strain is called. It's a little bit of heat stroke. And here's a little bit of what I didn't want to get around to. But good morning, everybody. Good morning. There's Niffer. It's free here. Good morning, Jackie Cat. Good morning, everybody. Here's what I want to get around to. So I got a letter from the government the other day. So we've been talking about this whole disability thing. And according to the government, I am disabled. But I also have ambition. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're at 14 likes. There's 60 people here. According to the government, I am disabled. But I have ambition. So, why don't you go work that off a little bit? Why don't you go work off that ambition a little bit? Turns out you got a voice and you can try. So, go work that off a little bit. Go break down even more. Oh, Bill D, I got it. I got it tonight twice. SSI and SSDI. That was rough. Now, they said, you're disabled, but you're able to adapt. But you can adapt. And here's the hard truth behind all of that. The first thing is, it's probably true. Second thing is, fighting it, what's the fight? Like, I don't know how to fight it, Michael. Like, I don't really have, you know what I mean? Like, right, exactly, MVP. Well, Herbie, here's the, like, Pops and I, we thought about it, I talked about it. It's my life, right? Nerd. No, you know, like, I appreciate that, Michael. It's really not that big of a. I'm not trying to like make a big stink about it and all. Sorry, I'm reading some of the scrolling here and trying to follow along with like how everybody's talking. Um, what I wanted to get to is like maybe it's kind of right, you know. You know, like I can trim. Like I've worked in the weed industry, like and such. So, boys gotta go get a job. So maybe not. It's not like I gotta go get it now, but like if I gotta like pay for stuff instead of like mooching off of people and like doing like little menial things around here, you know, okay, I gotta go do that now. You know, I've been holding on for the last year, waiting throughout this process, and I'm not saying that like I'm the most studious about all of this, Michael Allen. Is what I'm saying. It's like I got 2 months to fight it. It's starting probably today. But like, what would I be fighting for, Michael? You know, like am I fighting for? Maybe I'm fighting for like the consistency of a check. I can understand that. But I was on that check for 15 years, 10 years, 15 years before I bounced off of it and I started working. And when you're on that check, you know that you're in a specific kind of a life. Like you know that like you are not really supposed to reach beyond. Because if you do, it's really easy to just to get that taken away from you. And so like you know that you can't reach up. And for a while, like I've been trying to get into the poetry scene, and like all the money that I had was paying for poets to come do features at the city I was living at the time, and so like I really didn't have much, but everything I had was like towards this sense of ambition that I had. And when I finally was able to like get into a job that like I could do, I guess, and then bounce around with that ability out to Denver and work in the weed industry. Um, like I can work. It's not a big deal. Um, it, Maybe I'm just going through like weird little tensions of it all, right? Um, but it does hurt. Is the thing. Like my shoulders are gonna hurt. Like I'm sensing. I know that my back is gonna hurt and it's gonna suck because of the way that I have to move my arms, even normally when it comes to working. And so like I know my back is gonna hurt again. I'm like, okay, so all of that was shooting through me as I'm reading this letter, both letters to Pops. I'm like, oh man, my back is gonna start hurting again. I'm a jerk, and so I'm gonna say jerky things, and such. And it's just like, but what I know that I can't do is I can't push myself. Because if I pushed myself in Denver, and what happened with me pushing myself is I got a hernia. I lifted more than 20 pounds. I did way more than what I should have been doing as a disabled worker, I guess. So there are widget jobs out there, Michael Allen. There are widget things that you can put people like me in front of, and you can pay me, and then you don't have to put me on the government toll. What I'm saying is the person that wrote that letter hates disabled people with ambition. They pushed the button that said, thanks for trying, keep trying. I'm not happy. Let's get to breaking the radio. Let's dab it out real quick. Let's dab again. Let's dab it, and then I'm gonna do the top. I'm gonna do some fun music thing, and we'll get past it. But I wanted to let you guys know, because you've been here on the journey. I'm letting you guys know like where my brain is. Like whoever hit enter and send on those letters doesn't like disabled people with ambition. That's for sure. So stab it real quick. And here's the thing, is like, there's some video evidence of me having a lot of ambition here. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing here. You think I can't get a job because I can do this? I can weld. Look at it. I have no fear of flame. I can go be a welder. I can go be a welder. I love you guys. I wish I'd been reading most of your scrolls. I know where a lot of you are heading. Maybe we can talk about the, if you want to talk to me, you can get a hold of me if you know how to get a hold of me. I really don't want to make a big deal about this. I just, letting you guys know about, the story, letting you in on the story. So, mostly, and the other, like, I know that, like, you and I, the we, this, whatever, hanging out with you guys can happen at any time. I can always show up, I can show up at Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the evening, and you guys would hang out for an hour, and I know that, so, I won't have to miss you guys. But, man, my back is gonna hurt, and that's gonna suck. But, I guess, whose back doesn't hurt after a hard day of work, I guess. That's what all the commercials are about, you got aspirin, anyhow, so let's just get back into the fun. Let's get back in. I'm not gonna do any giveaways, but like, do we want to do this? We got 26 people here. Can we get the 35 likes? I went 40 on Friday because we had a lot of people here. But can we get the 35 likes before we do my music thing? All I'm going to say, I'm going to take a drink here, and I'm going to try and drop back into my music thing. We'll stop talking about all that stuff. I love you guys very, very much. Thanks for paying attention and letting me say it. But I want to do this because we got a big thing in the book to go. We got Aristotle coming up here. We got through Plato last week, which said, Plato basically said we can't see ourselves from ourselves. Like, we are the reflections of ourselves. Like, we see who we are, but we can't really see who we are. We went through it all, right? But we'll get through Aristotle, who's more like, no, we're going to go meet ourselves. And so that's cool. Aristotle's going to say that kind of stuff. So we'll get through that. But are we cool with that? Can we get we're at 29. 3 other people hit like in that time. 29. I know we're on lag and such like that, but let's get the 35. Let's get the, hi Waz. Good morning to the Waz. I didn't even see the Waz. That was the thing about talking about people, is I don't even know if you're here and I'm like saying your names. But I'm kidding. Good morning. Hey Waz. Okay. 30. We're at 30. The countdown is continuing. Please hit the like button. Catzilla is saying, please hit the like button. 32. It's not even about me. I just don't want to get yelled at for not having like. I'm going to get fired from this job if I don't get likes. How about that? I'm kidding. It's not kidding. It's more like, if I was I should be like the host of a donation marathon. Not at all. I shouldn't be the host of a donation marathon at all, because people that wouldn't donate to, they'd be like, are we paying this guy to really do this? Really? What are we at? We're at 33. We're at 33, folks. I can hear the radio tuning. I can't get no. In the name of sweet carrot. In the heat of the night. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. In the name of... It's a long song. I can hear the radio just going big. 34, 35, 35. We had to go to U2 twice. That was a long song. Good morning, everybody. Here's today's Broken Radio triples. All right, we're gonna go with what. And we're doing winners, but I don't really have anything to give away. You know, we're not doing fractions. We're not doing things like that. So we're just going to be like guessing. All right, so like what was my first record? My first record. And I'm going to tell you, late 80s. First record, don't smoke the gas station weed. Of course not. Of course not. That's not a record, though. What was my first record? And I'm going to tell you... Where's the soundtrack? King Metroplex making the jokes. Joan Jett, Bad Reputation. The Beatles. We've got Who Are You? Who Am I? I have no idea who you are. Me either. You already have a job. Yeah, I know, right? West Side Story soundtrack. That's funny, Free. It should have been, shouldn't it? It's a lot worse. Dirty Dancing. Forrest Gump, we're going late 80s. Forrest Gump was 94, I think. Flash Gordon. Herbie said, yours was a Flash Gordon soundtrack. That's a good one. The Good Ship Lollipop. We've got the Grease soundtrack. It's not Grease. We tried to talk to someone. Okay, Days of Thunder. It's a good, I don't know if that's a Morning Mark Highlander soundtrack. We've got Hit Explosion with your first record. That's great. The Golden Girls. I wish I knew the song off the top of my head. We've got the Goonies. We've got Top Gun. Highway to the Danger Zone. Not that one, no. We've got Dazed and Confused. Phantom of the Opera. Forrest Gump. No, it's not Forrest Gump. Remember, Forrest Gump was back in the 90s. Michael Jackson. Beat it. Beat it. Only with the beat it. We got Pretty in Pink. That's a good one. I like that. Was it? Man, I can't. Was it Rob Reiner? Was he the director of that? Not that. It's The Breakfast Club. That one's great. I don't know that. Oh my God. The Breakfast Club. Give me the song. Never ending story. That was a Jeopardy answer. Oh, what am I guessing? My first record. This is my very first. I had a puzzle that had the cover of this record. I had video games. With this record. We've got, okay? How about that? Maybe, yeah, there was a video game for this record at the time, I think. Yeah, at the time. Yeah, absolutely, there was a video game. We've got Back to the Future. We've got Princess Bride. We've got The Wall. Daniel and I need to talk to someone. Go ahead and, someone talk to them. We got Metroid TMNT. Derek and I had the soundtrack to Turtles. To the TMN Turtle. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtle Power. That was my very first record. I remember getting that. I had like a yard sale record player that I bought with money that I don't know how I got. You know, I don't know how you get money when you're a kid, other than just your parent gives it to you or you found it somewhere or whatever. But I had like a little bit of yard sale money that I could spend. And so I bought a record player. And I also bought the Turtles soundtrack. I grew up. I never went to like the Turtles live show, but like that was one of the first live shows that I remembered seeing, like, advertised, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to that. No way am I going to a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live show unless someone buys me a ticket. Anyhow, so that was back in. We're going chronological. I think we're chronological here. So we're gonna go see the. We'll go cassette. Well, first, I think I bought my first cassette before I bought my first CD. I think. What is My first cassette. No. Wait. Yeah, I did. First cassette. Okay. Yeah, maybe the album isn't in chronological. Here we go. So we've got first cassette. This one came out in the early 90s. I'm going to get 92? Well, 92-ish. How about that? Let's see Brock in parachute pants, right, with Beastie Boys. We've got Tom. We've got Guns N' Roses, Appetite. And I want our artist and album. Artist and album. Nirvana. Aerosmith. It's not Nirvana. I didn't get into Nirvana until in college. I remember, I listened to Nirvana, growing up in high school. I'm like, whatever. I didn't really, it wasn't until college. Because I was still kind of like godly-ish in my head. I was still Christian-ish. Although this first CD or cassette doesn't really, I was a bit punkish. We'll go with that. Although punks are going to hit me in the nuts if they hear me say that about this. So here, okay. We've got Sesame Street theme song. Soundgarden fell on black days. Spoon Man, come together with your hands, save me. All right, no, it's not that. Promania, Def Leppard. No, it's a good one though. Steven. We've got Smashing Pumpkins. Siamese Twin would have been out around that time, I think, and that was a great one. But no, it's not it. We've got Guns N' Roses, Use a Illusion. No, although in the cold November rain. I remember that was one of the first songs that I heard played by a computer. Like this friend of mine was programming an app or whatever, like the OG apps, and it played November Rain, like Green Day Dookie. Michael Allen. That's what it was. My very first cassette was Green Day Dookie. I remember walking into Fry's. I think it might have been Fry's. But it was something Fry's. I think it was Fry's. I walked into Fry's. And that was, and I bought that. And I bought Green Day Dookie. I would have gone with REM Monster, because I bought Green Day Dookie, REM Monster, and I shit you not, my first three cassettes, Green Day Dookie, REM Monster, and Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case. We talked about that last week. Snoop Dogg, that was my first three tapes. Maybe we'll do that next week, and keep that in mind and remember, maybe we'll give some stuff away. So anyhow, here's the one that I want to get to. Very first CD that I saw. And here's the thing. Here's the very first CD that I saw. Someone already named it. What was my first download from Napster? Oh, man. It was probably like Oakenfold, like a Paul Oakenfold song. Like, Silence, I think, by Paul Oakenfold. I think something like that. I didn't really get into downloading songs until around 2000, 2001. So I think it was like a Paul Oakenfold. It might have been. Burning CDs at that time, so, yeah. You never had I got into, Napster and, Kazaa. That's what I use Kazaa a lot, because, whatever. Alright, so the Sarah McLachlan Silence. Herbie Von Werby. My first CD that I saw it. I was in 6th grade, and this person, I was in Southern California, in 6th grade, and one of the students, one of my classmates, brought in LimeWire. You used LimeWire. I used LimeWire later. And then I had to build 2 new computers because of LimeWire. I built a new computer, and it was no, you're still infected from using LimeWire on the old computer. Now you got to build another computer. And so I'm I generationally spawned off of LimeWire. I had to. It was LimeWire's disaster. Michael Allen, we all have LimeWire. LimeWire is in our blood. LimeWire is the Teflon of the internet, is what it is. Pirate Bay is same. I used Pirate Bay a lot when I was like looking for all the with my first Pirate Bay movie. Might have been a Vin Diesel movie. Alright. My first CD that I saw in 6th grade, Exception named it. Exception named it earlier. And it's a soundtrack. And this soundtrack wouldn't have happened if one of the actors hadn't mentioned to the other actor, director, everybody, hey, the lead actress can sing. All right, so how about that? So that was my first. That was the first CD. We got The Bodyguard. There you go, Exception. The Bodyguard. That was my first CD. Goodbye. Yeah, you know, I remember he brought the CD player in, and everyone took turns passing the headphones around and holding on to this CD player that I remember, like, whoa, it was such a golden moment to be holding on to. It was 92, right? And CDs have been out since, like, 88. But, like, that CD player had to cost, like, $100. You know, that little Walkman CD thing? It wasn't even a Walkman. Like, you turned it that way and it skip. You know, it wasn't until, like, later the Walkman CDs are like, oh, you can hold it upside down and it's still going. You know, but your original CD players, it was like if you breathed on it, you had to start the whole thing from the get-go. You almost had to like lift the laser up, you know, without all your old CDs scratched, like way easier than your records. And anyhow, my first CD that I bought, no one's gonna get this. Maybe Herbie might get this. This CD came out probably 93, 94, maybe 92. This CD came out, and this got me going. And remember, I'm a Christian kid, just you know, rocking out to this stuff. And it wasn't it was that CD, and it was also Dude Ranch, Blink-182, and those are like my secret CD. Like, my music was not Christian at all. We've got Rage Against the Machine. It wasn't until college that Rage became a thing for me. So less pretentious version of that, Herbie. How about that? Pantera. We've got back in the days, exactly. Striker. We've got Slayer. No, we've got 90. We've got, you know, this is one of those this is one of those, like, every time it came on the radio, you're like, what version are they gonna play? You know, but it wasn't from that album, Limp Bizkit. It's all about the he said, she said bullshit. So I think you better, but I'm not tweaking. I'm not. Leonard Skinner, no. It Disturbed, that was like 2000s. We've got Metallica, Lion of Judah. Metallica was my first album that I stole. I think I stole the Black Album. We've got Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. No, this is 92, 93. My first CD. We've got Mushroom Head. The Black Album was great. I thought Metallica was always better than Guns N' Roses. I never liked Guns N' Roses. Rage Against the Machine again. No, Jesus Christ. You know what I'll do? The only clue that I'll give you is Adam Ant. That's the only clue that I'm going to give you. Adam Ant. And, I'm going to read the lyrics. to a hidden song. Eat your heart out, Steve. I want to date you, maybe. I want to take you out. I want to wine and dine you. Oh, I want to twist and shout. Adam Ant, not Alien Ant Farm. I want you hard in my arms, so soft on my bed. 9 Inch Nails, Derek Anderson. What's the album? Actually, no. What's the nickname of the album? There's a nickname for it. You get the key to my heart, oh, when you wear that sweet dress. But you're too physical. Physical to me. You're just too physical. Physical, no, to me. I want your roughhouse, baby. I want this right in your ear. You let me feel your danger. I let you make this feeling clear here. I want the touch of your charms, the heat of your breath. I want to say all those things that would be better unsaid. No, but you're too physical. Physical to me. You're just too physical. It's just a lot of it. It's bad. I listened to that at 14. Halo 5. You're too physical. Physical to me. I figured that was a lot easier to read than the lyrics to Closer. I want, you know what I mean? That was the, yeah, I think that's it. I want to feel you from the inside. You just, alright. Let's get to one more dab, and we'll get to the book. Thanks for playing along, Derek Anderson. I didn't see if anybody got Halo 5. The album was broken. And so, I was listening to, as a kid, I was listening to Blink-182 Dude Ranch. And maybe I was a deviant. I don't know, maybe I really wasn't that big of a Christian kid. I don't know. Maybe my music was pretty deviant. Like it was Snoop Dogg, Blink-182, Live even, with Throwing Copper and like, and all the cuss words in that one. Leave some change behind. She was a bitch, but good enough. Everybody's good enough for some change. Some fucking change. You know what I mean? It's a good song. It's a really good song. That's the only part of the song that I remember. And everyone's like, did you just say the B word? And I'm like, yeah, no. But it's a great song. Herbie would know it. Like, Throwing Copper, the whole album is just amazing. Alright, everybody. We'll get to the book here. Learn about Aristotle coming up. Thanks for hanging out, hitting the like button, paying attention, having some fun with me. Next week, should get back. We'll get to the gives. Haven't seen any donuts today. No donuts today. No newbies. But you know, it's gonna be a big week. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we'll see what the old job system's looking like. Because there's places around here that I can walk to and go get a job. So you don't qualify for disability just because you have to walk to a job. That's for sure. That much I know. So, oh boy, we got a lot of Aristotle coming around. Here we go. So remember yesterday we dealt with, Friday we dealt with Plato. And Plato's big phrasing is, earthly knowledge is but shadow, meaning we already know what we know. Okay? We are who we are. Youth of a nation, we are. Youth of a nation. But we're going to learn about Aristotle. Aristotle came out of the Socratic method of thinking, questioning. Like, hey, if I don't know enough, the book we're reading from is the philosophy book. Big Ideas Simply Explained. Thank you to Derek Anderson and Calico Kid for the book. So we've been reading from this front to back, learn about philosophy historically, and trying to like maintain. We're trying to like finish something. Remember that first book? We didn't even finish that first book, and it's only because, oh man, hard to read. This one's a little easier, so that's why we're reading it. Aristotle was 17 years old when he arrived in Athens to study at the academy under the great philosopher Plato. Plato himself was 60 at the time and had already devised his theory of forms. According to this theory, all earthly phenomena, such as justice and the color green, are shadows of ideal counterparts called forms, which give their earthly models their particular identities. Aristotle was a studious type, and no doubt learned a great deal from his master, but he was also of a very different temperament. Where Plato was brilliant and intuitive, Aristotle was scholarly and methodical. Nevertheless, there was an obvious mutual respect, and Aristotle stayed at the academy, both as a student and a teacher, until Plato died 20 years later. So Aristotle met Plato, and for 20 years was like, I'm going to prove this guy wrong. Surprisingly, he was not chosen as Plato's successor, and so he left Athens and took what would prove to be a fruitful trip to Ionia. Surprisingly, for 20 years he had been trying to prove Plato wrong, and the academy's like, why don't you shove off, guy? Dude's dead. The break from I'm kidding, it probably wasn't that at all. It was probably a little more political than that. Don't get in. If you're an Aristotle like apologist, or if you know actual theories, actual facts about Aristotle's like history, and this is rubbing you wrong, you know a lot. That's great. Plato's theory question. The break from teaching gave Aristotle the opportunity to indulge his passion for studying wildlife, which intensified his feeling that Plato's theory of forms was wrong. It is tempting to imagine that Aristotle's arguments had already had some influence on Plato, who, in his later dialogues, admitted some flaws in his earlier theories. It's goofy, it's hard, it's a little difficult to hold on to. But it is impossible to know for certain. We do know, though, that Plato was aware of the third man argument, which Aristotle used to refute his theory of forms. Okay, so third man being capitalized. That's the argument we're about to learn. The third man argument. This argument runs as follows. If there exists in a realm of forms a perfect form of man on which earthly men are modeled, this form, to have any conceivable content, would have to be based on a form of the man. And this, too, would have to be based on a higher form on which the forms of the forms are based. And so, ad infinitum. Aristotle's later argument against the theory of forms was more straightforward and more directly related to his studies of the natural world. How far back do you have to go before you reach God? Is really where Aristotle was like. He was telescoping back. You know, like how far back do you have to reach the perfect form? He realized that it was simply unnecessary to assume that there is a hypothetical realm of forms, when the reality of things can already be seen here on earth, inherent in everyday things. Perhaps because his father had been a physician, health guy, Aristotle's scientific interests lay in what we now call the biological sciences, what we can see, feel, touch, whereas Plato's background had been firmly based in mathematics, his brain, what you can think. This difference in background helps to explain the difference in approach between the two men. Here we go. Mathematics, especially geometry. Back then, geometry was like the calculus. Before, geometry was calculus. Like, they were like, if this shape does this and then the other shape, they didn't have calculus until later on. Isaac Newton devised calculus, which is like the mathematics of change. Anyhow, mathematics, especially geometry, deals with abstract concepts that are far removed from the everyday world, whereas biology is very much about the world around us and is based almost solely on observation. Plato sought confirmation of a realm of forms from notions such as the perfect circle, which cannot exist in nature. But Aristotle found that certain constants can be discovered by examining the natural world. Like, all right, we may not see the perfect circle, but we can at least know that Mare the Gnomes is a great song. What Aristotle proposed turned Plato's theory on its head. Far from mistrusting our senses, Aristotle relied on them for the evidence to back up his theories. What he learnt from studying the natural world was that by observing the characteristics of every example of a particular plant or animal that he came across, he could build up a complete picture of what it was that distinguished it from other plants or animals. Alright. And deduce what makes it what it is. His own studies confirmed what he already believed, that we are not born with some innate ability to recognize forms, as Plato recognized, or maintained. Each time a child comes across a dog, for example, it notes what it is about that animal that it has in common with other dogs, so that it can eventually recognize the things that make something a dog. This child now has an idea of dogginess, or the form, as Aristotle, so we look at the dog and we're like, oh, okay, now we know, we're supposed to know that that's something, we don't know that that's a dog, but we're looking at a dog. Okay, we got dogginess in our brains. Okay, we got that form. Alright, so now we gotta learn what that form's called. Call a dog. In this way, we learn from our experience of the world what the shared characteristics are that make things what they are. And the only way of experiencing the world is through our senses. Got it? Okay. The essential form of things. Like Plato, then, Aristotle is concerned with finding some kind of immutable and eternal bedrock in a world characterized by change. But he concludes that there is no need to look for this anchor in a world of forms that are only perceptible to the soul. The evidence is here in the world around us, perceptible through our senses. Aristotle believes that the things in the material world are not imperfect copies of some ideal, forms of themselves, but that the essential form of a thing is actually inherent in each instance of that thing. This is philosophy, guys. If we're lost, don't worry. I'm lost too, but we're getting through it. For example, dogginess is not just a shared characteristic of dogs. True, a cat can look like a dog. You ever hear a cat bark? It is something that is inherent in each and every dog. This is getting into logic. In every dog. Are all dogs dogs? Are all cats cats? Can a cat be a dog? Can a dog be a cat? A dog can have cat qualities. Does that make it a cat? Or is it a dog with cat qualities? You know, these are all little logic problems that Aristotle's thinking about. Like, what is it? By studying particular things, therefore, we can gain insight into their universal and immutable nature. What is true of examples in the natural world, Aristotle reasons. We'll take a break, and we'll take a dab break after this section here. What is true of examples in the natural world, Aristotle reasons, is also true of concepts relating to human beings. Notions such as virtue, justice, beauty, and good can be examined in exactly the same way. As he sees it, when we are born, our minds are like inscribed tablets. And any ideas that we gain can only be received through our senses. Alright? So, we got a tablet. That's our brain. Is that a tablet? Is that a tablet? I wish I could do the other hand. We got it. Hold on. This is your mind. It's a tablet. Phone. Okay. At birth, we have no innate ideas. So we have no idea of right or wrong. As we encounter instances of justice through our lives, however, we learn to recognize the qualities that the instances have in common, and slowly build and refine our understanding of what justice is. In other words, the only way we can come to know the eternal, immutable idea of justice is by observing how it is manifested in the world around us. Okay. So that brings me, I'm going to take a break here. We're going to take a break. This is a long section. And maybe, I'm going to take a break because I really want to talk about that idea. Is the idea that, like, so we got a blank slate, right? And so all you got to do is, once you have that blank slate, and I'll give you some examples of, like, of that kind of, like, thinking. Yeah, we'll get back to it. Aristotle, thank you. Do you remember in Short Circuit with Johnny Five, when he didn't know much, he had the ability to learn, right? He had the ability to learn way more and faster than we could at that time. Johnny Five alive! But he had to read books first. And he didn't know, like, how things, like, all the robotics, it works along the Aristotle thinking of like, there's the ability to learn, but it's got to learn. AI kind of works along the same way. Whew, now we're going to talk about AI. But no, you got to learn first before you know. So you're like zooming through. God, yeah, that just broke my brain there. So let's get back to it. Whew. Someone was like, he's already tweaking. I'm like, I don't know, man. You might be close to it. That dab really kicked my ass. All right, let's take a dab here, and we'll get back to it. If we want to, do we want to? Because I got like 2 more pages of reading, and I can break it up. It's up to you. Give me emotes if I see emotes, we'll keep going to the end. We'll keep going to the end. But I don't know. Some heavy stuff. Got some heavy stuff here. We got another 15-20 minutes here. Good morning. To all the people I haven't said good morning to. I'm just gonna dab it out here. Taking a break. Checking it twice. Gonna find out if I'm reading or not. I'm not wondering now. Johnny AI is, it's kind of like Johnny 5 is alive, right? It's so, another way of looking at it is AI alive? So we're learning about Aristotle. Aristotle says, maybe. I mean, if that's how we learn, this is how robots learn. Woo! Blowing minds here, folks. Blowing minds. Doing dabs and blowing minds. Alright, here we go. At birth, we have no innate idea. Alright, no. Here we go. Down there. Aristotle departs from Plato, then, not by denying that universal qualities exist, but by questioning both their nature. Remember, this is Aristotle. 2,500 years ago is telling you how AI is learning today. But by questioning both their nature and the means by which we come to know them. The latter being the fundamental question of epistemology, or the theory of knowledge. Epistemology. I hate epistemology. It's so... Oh, man. Why are the rules the rules? Oh, God. And it was this difference of opinion on how we arrive at universal truths that later divided philosophers into two separate camps. The rationalists, including René Descartes, Immanuel Kant, and Gottfried Leibniz, who believe in a priori or innate knowledge, and the empiricists, including John Locke, George Berkeley, and David Hume, who claim that all knowledge comes from experience. Alright, so you've got your rationalists. You should already know it, man. And your empiricists. Well, you're gonna know it. So you got your F arounds and your find outs. Biological classification. The manner in which Plato and Aristotle arrive at their theories tells us much about their temperaments. Plato's theory of forms is grand and otherworldly, which is reflected in the way he argues his case, using highly imaginative, fictionalized dialogues between Socrates and his contemporaries. By contrast, Aristotle's theory is much more down to earth, and is presented in more prosaic academic language. Indeed, so convinced was Aristotle that the truth of the world is to be found here on earth, and not in some higher dimension, that he set about collecting specimens of flora and fauna and classified them according to their characteristics. He started all that. That's him. All you biologists that oh man, I gotta learn about the classification. It's him. He did it. Blame this guy. He wanted to show you that he could. And he did. For this biological classification, Aristotle devised the hierarchical system. The first of its kind, and so beautifully constructed that it forms the basis of the taxonomy still in use today. For 2,500 years ago, these people. First, he divides the natural world into living and non-living things. Then, he turns his attention to classifying the living world. His next division is between plants and animals, which involves the same kind of thinking that underpins his theory of universal qualities. Right? You know the whole the silly game of am I a carrot? Look it up. Go Google, like, am I a carrot? You can reason yourself into being a carrot. It's hilarious. We may be able to distinguish between a plant and an animal almost without thinking. But how do we know how to make that distinction? Am I a self-aware cat? What? The answer for Aristotle is in the shared features of either category. All plants share the form plant, and all animals share the form ant. Plants are having their own plant form of, am I an animal? And once we understand the nature of those forms, we can then recognize them in each and every instance. This fact becomes more apparent the more Aristotle subdivides the natural world. In order to classify a specimen as a fish, for example, we have to recognize what it is that makes a fish, which again can be known through experience and requires no innate knowledge at all. As Aristotle builds up a complete classification of all living things, from the simplest organisms to human beings, this fact is confirmed again and again. Things are separate for a reason. Teleological explanation. I say things and then like the book's like, yeah, we're going to get to that. Like, God damn it, Brock, shut up. Another fact that became obvious to Aristotle as he classified the natural world is that the form of a creature is not just a matter of its physical characteristics, such as its skin, fur, feather, or scales, but also a matter of what it does and how it behaves, which for Aristotle has ethical implications. Consider, we don't really do anything that we need wings for. Humans, right? Why would you want wings? They just get in the way. We would have to rebuild society if humans had wings. We don't have wings for a reason. To understand the link with ethics, we need first to appreciate that for Aristotle, everything in the world is fully explained by 4 causes that fully account for a thing's existence. I think like I went through this entire section really easy with the whole wing experience. But we'll get through it because that's what philosophy says. You got to know what other people think and not just you, Brock. All right. To understand, we need to first appreciate that 4 causes that fully account for a thing's existence. Thanks for trucking it out with me, folks. Those 4 causes are the material causes, or what the thing is made of. The formal cause, or the arrangement or shape of a thing, what it can look like. The efficient cause, or how a thing is brought into being, okay, what it could look like, what it would take to make it look like that. And the final cause, the function, or and why you would make it. So your first cause is what's it made of? What's it gonna look like? What's it gonna take to make it? And what's it do? Alright. It is this last type of cause, the final cause, that relates to ethics. A subject which, for Aristotle, is not separate from science, but rather a logical extension of biology. You wouldn't have anything growing on you unless you absolutely needed it, more or less. An example that Aristotle gives is that an eye, the final cause of an eye, its function, is to see. This function is the purpose, or the telos, of the eye. Telos is a Greek word that gives us teleology, or the study of purpose in nature. A teleological explanation of a thing is, therefore, an account of a thing's purpose. Alright, and to know the purpose of a thing is also to know what a good or bad version of a thing is. A good eye, for example, is one that sees well. Alright. So a teleoscope, no, it's not a word. In the case of humans, a good life is therefore one in which we fulfill our purpose, our teleology, or use all the characteristics that make us human to the full. A person can be considered good if he uses the characteristics he was born with, and can only be happy by using all of his capabilities in the pursuit of virtue, the highest form of which, for Aristotle, is wisdom. Remember, this is Socrates. You gotta learn, whatever it takes to learn. Which brings us full circle back to the question of how we can recognize the thing that we call virtue. And for Aristotle, again, the answer is by observation. Pay attention. We understand the nature of the good life by seeing it in the people around us. I have always appreciated that, personally. My big thing is, like, if you're not checking the room, if you don't know your environment, you're an ass. Check the room. You know what, we'll get to the rest of it, because we got 2 short ones after that, I think. We'll get to the rest of it next time, folks. We'll get to the rest of it next time. Basically, Aristotle wants you to look around. Reality is what you see. Okay, nice. I like that. And I kind of like, in a mental way, they tell you that too. In so much as, like, they'd say that, like, if you're paranoid, stop watching paranoid things. You know, like the old joke of like the person that watches all the crime stories and then goes to bed and has nightmares. You know, or if you're watching horror movies and you don't have good dreams, you know, all you have is bad dreams. It's, you know, so you've heard this, you know, and so that's how we can relate to this. Is Aristotle saying, like, you're learning this. It's not just happening. You're not having bad dreams just because bad dreams happen. You're having bad dreams because you've been looking at stupid stuff all day. You know, or you've been, you know, whatever. You know, you can fix it. Alright. Let me take a drink here. I hope everybody understood some of that. We'll get to the rest of it. It's philosophy. As Richard Feynman said about quantum mechanics, if you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't understand quantum mechanics. And so it's much about philosophy. Logic. Logic is just math. And I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it. Hated it. Because as much as I'm, like, into physics and the mechanics of things, and, like, I would fall apart if I had to take a calculus class. No, I'm not good at math. Not good at it at all. I don't know why. I should be. I want to be. I'm just not good at it. So I'm good with the words. I'm good with the rhetoric. I'm good with, like, the Socrates and such, and broken radio, and, like, anyhow, let's get out of here, folks. Let's go home. You want to dab it out, Mushmouth? Let's do that. We'll see what happens this week. The big thing about getting a job is I won't be able to do this. That's the thing. As I laughed, it was Friday night, because I opened the mail Friday, and then Friday night I was taking my dab, and I was like, and it hit me. I was like, oh man, I gotta stop smoking weed. Oh, that sucks. So, what happened? Good morning, Damon. JCB, let's dab it out. We're gonna do a dibble dabble dibble. We'll do a dibble dabble dibble. And we'll scroll it out, and we'll see if we maybe forgot a few things. I don't know if anybody forgot something. You know what I was watching earlier this morning was Sky News, and I really like watching Sky News and all the different British accents. I'm not gonna do any British accents or any. I don't think I'm gonna. It might happen because I'm gonna get really dabbled, you know. But like, I was listening, and this one guy, I was like, is that Irish? You know, and maybe it could be. And then there was like the Scottish. See, I can't say Scottish. I can't say Scottish without saying Scottish. Can you say what can you say? Almost every, like, Hungarian, you know? You break into a little Hungarian. We got one more to go. We got the dibble, we got the dabble, we got the dib. Alright? And then we'll get the hell out of here. But I was practicing, and I like to use, copy the words and listen to the way that they say the words. And one of the words that I was listening to while I was watching a riot, and let me explain. In Brussels, Germany, farmers are protesting EU regulations against this, that, and the other. And they have taken... I didn't think one was going to get me. Pardon my language. Sorry, Penny. God. They've taken to driving their tractors from the farmlands into the city, underneath overpasses, to protest. And they've brought in, like, loads of, like, stuff and set it on fire. Like, farmers are protesting. You're not getting your tractors back, you jerks. What are you doing? How do you go get your tractor back after that? Oh, hi, officer. Yeah, that tractor's been here for like a day. I'm gonna need that, but I don't know how it got here. I don't know who drove it here, officer. Obviously, it wasn't me. Does this look like a farm field to you? Anyhow, negotiations is the word, and I heard negotiations. JC, Jesus Christ, Australia, how do you say it? Is it negotiations, or is it negotiations? It's negotiations. Alright, even in the Scottish language, it's negotiations. That's not negotiations. Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm not negotiating anything, I'm negotiating. Alright, I might be negotiating, I don't know. Anyhow, let's get out of here. Negotiations. It might be negotiations. We got under the pace. Let's get out of here. Catzilla, I love you. Glad you're here. Come back tomorrow. Sandman, you got 73. It's going to be beautiful. I might light a fire this week. Burn some wood before I can. I've been looking at my wood pile, and I checked for any shroom growth, and there's no shroom growth. There was a little bit earlier last year. Anyhow, Catzilla, good to see you, man. Jesus Christ, I was watching Sky News. KMB, peace, y'all. Beauty, much love, much fan. Sandman, go get some new genetics. Oh, hey! The DetroitMuchLife.net. DetroitMuchLife.net. Go check out some new stuff that Sandman was talking about. And maybe Clean Grow too. And anyhow, I'll get you there. I'll get you there, Mushmouth. I'll get you there. Clean Grow, love, peace, and buggeries. Sandman, what the hell, yeah? Nerd Nature, love you, Mushman, and Super Profundo on the early eve of your day. Thank you, Nerd Nature. Sid Hunter with the I love the emotes. And Tiffany, love you, Brock. Heart and family, I love you too. Cap Dank. Yo, Sandman, what's the web address? It's theDetroitMuchLab.net. theDetroitMuchLab.net. Derek Hansen, thank you, Brock, and everyone for an awesome morning. Love y'all. Be here tomorrow to see Pops. Same day, or same time, same channel. Deborah Pearl with the Brock and the Good Monday Mush Fam. Love you, Deborah Pearl. Herbie Mushroom, it's like a pretentious little radio thing. Captain Dank for orders, CCS with the fire. We've got, let me bring this closer. I'm wearing my Bucky shirt, by the way, Herbie. Herbie got me one, and now I have one, and I didn't intend for this, but that's Saskia Mojo. And much love all, File 13, later today, but love you all. It's alright, File 13. I'm not even here. Niffer Mama, everyone have an amazing week. Mushmouth, 87 days. Is that where we're at? Do we have a time and place? Deborah Pearl, with the Nerd Nation trying to get a hold of you. Captain Dank, BRO, that's me, Absolute and Cap. Jesus Christ, catch later, you two, Mr. Cribbit, and Deborah Pearl, haha, and with the 5280, all day, and the walls with the Brock and the fam, and Herbie with the cleaning, have that fire, no, he does have that, oh, it's the oil, yeah, get that oil, that's right, cleaning with the oil. Go check out Cleaning with the Oil, okay? And how about File 13? Great day all with the Catzilla and CCS with the emotes and the Lord Divine with the habulous day. Habulous favor for everyone. Jackie Cat with the emotes. Free the ancient ones. Have a great day, everyone. I love you, Brock. I love you too, Free. MVP. I didn't do anything this time. That's great. See, I'm really good. Michael Patterson, Shanti, Brock, Crystal Watson. Have a great day. File 13. Have a great night. I got rid of the pretentious thing. I had to. I didn't like it. Mushmouth, love you too. I'll get to that. I'm getting there. All right, Herbie one. Kenobi. I sent you that one. You did not. Did you send this one to me too? What the fuzzle? Herbie with the I'm wearing Herbie's wardrobe. I did. You did send this one to me. With the blanket too. Knock it off! Knock it off! Did it come with like no, you sent me the blanket. Alright, come on, peace out with the B. Hendrix and the MVP, let's go. And the Becky Rocks and the April, I know, what the fuzzle, right? Come on, Niffer, 105, and with the, did you grow up in the, alright, here we go. Alright, maybe we're done. Is that it? Is that we're done? I don't even know if we're done. Mushmouth, are we done? I don't even know if we're done. I swear, I feel a little lonely. And so, like, I kind of just want to, like, you ever just kind of, maybe to start your week off, you just kind of want to do the whole, you put your left hand here, you put your right hand here, you squeeze your elbows inside. I can't rhyme it. I'm trying to rhyme it here. Hey, Macarena, you put the, and you just kind of like, I can't, this is what's trying to get a job in a week, you know what I'm saying? Like, no wonder, like, come on. And I swear, it feels like a hug, but like, this is what you, and then you just kind of, like, what's it called, I don't even remember, here, I just kind of like mush mouth, like, you just, squeeze, there we go, that feels even better, oh, yeah, you gotta give it a hug. To get a hug. Oh, you gotta give a hug to get a hug. I just gave myself a hug. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go, folks, okay? This feels great. Give yourself a hug. And then, guess what? You're getting a hug too. Love you too, Marshmallow. Alright? Arms, hands, right there. Yeah, I should have asked for me. Brock, can I give you a hug? Yeah, you can give me a hug. It's fine. All right, there we go. Y'all do that if you need to. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Or a great week. Not a weekend. I gotta go get a haircut.